and hit him under the left rib, hit him in the back again, and then finally hit him again in the side of the neck. My homeboy's down on the ground. We're still fighting with those guys at that time. The COs tell everybody to start getting down. They hit the siren. Boom! Siren goes off. We dive to the left and to the right. The two guys, they got stabbed. My homeboy, he was down and he was bleeding out. And I could just see him coughing up blood and blood coming out of his ears and shit in his mouth.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it. I said to myself, that's it. I looked the other way. The guy that got stabbed in the eye was holding his eye and squealing like a pig. Squealing like a pig. I don't know what they hit on him or what, but he was squealing like a pig, holding on to his face. I don't know if he was holding on to the knife or what, but he was holding on to his face.
Oh, shit. Man, that's crazy.
At that time, one of my guys was still hitting the guy that wasn't stabbed.
Yeah, while they're on the ground. Yeah, he's still getting some in.
The CO from the guard tower told everybody, get down. He unloaded his rifle twice, hitting my partner dead in the elbow, and the second shot hit him in the hand.
Tore his arm up.
Tore his arm to pieces. I believe they hit him with the little ranch gun, a Mini 14.
Oh, yeah, that's what they use. Yep, that's what they use out there in Cali.
I mean, he literally had, it looked like nothing left of his elbow and nothing left of his hand. It was gone. It looked weird. It looked like something had munched it off and crunched it off.
Yeah, those 2.23, I think it's a 2.23 that those shoot. Those are pretty mean rounds at .556.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
And so he hits the ground. He starts turning back and forth. And the yard goes down. The COs come and neutralize the situation. We got taken to the hole. I ended up doing an extra year for that. But that's not the end of the story for that. There was consequences for stabbing our homeboy, you know? There were some consequences for it.
Of course.
The following day, when I was in the hole, two guys ended up being stabbed in the chow hall for retaliation for the stabbing of my homeboy. After that, the prison was put on lockdown, and my homeboy ended up dying, man. He caught an infection.
Oh no! Rest in peace. I mean, where did he get infected? What happened? His blood, or what happened?
Yeah. My homeboy had cirrhosis of the liver, and he already had hepatitis.
All right.
So when he was stabbed, he got an infection in his bloodstream, and since his immune system was so weak, he couldn't fight off the infection.
Yep.
He ended up dying in a state prison hospital. He was airlifted off of there, you know, and to me that has to be one of the most brutal things to see in my life, because I had never seen anybody be stabbed up close. I had never really heard anybody scream in pain from a stabbing. And if you guys don't know at home, for you guys who don't know at home, the moment you stab someone, it changes your life. You can feel the moment when you stab someone. You can feel the restlessness come out of them if they're dying. You can feel the limpness of their body. When you pull out and they gasp for that air and you hit them again, you understand. And it's a sickening feeling for some people because they get a feeling of control. I want to say something. I've never done anything in my life, and it's kind of awful to say. To say is just I feel that I never did anything to nobody in their life who didn't have it coming and didn't deserve it. You know?
Yeah, you didn't prey on people. You know what I'm saying? You gave it to people who fucking looked for it.
Yeah, you know, and I never condone anything I've ever done in my life, because I've never done anything in my life that I would say is to be proud of, because I've lived a life of crime. I've lived a life of misery. I've lived a life of a fugitive. I've lived a life of a criminal. I've taken orders, and I've done what I'm supposed to do. And I might tell you like this with a heavy heart, I never did it because I wanted to. I did it because I had to.
Yes, sir.
Because I had
those sins weigh on us, brother. But we're setting things right now as best we can and trying to keep people out of that life instead of everyone trying to get them in that life. Unfortunately, I look at to get off the subject for a little bit, but I look at like rap music and all the negative influences, and all it is negative influences. Really, no positive influence on the youth anymore at all, or anyone trying to warn them. You know what I'm saying? The few people who are warning them are usually some corny ass. You know what I'm saying? People who aren't going to listen to.
And then that's what I mean. Not to cut you off, Shadow. I try to tell professionals, because I've spoken to some professional people who speak at these schools and at these venues and stuff like that, and they get paid, you know what I mean? And I tell them the truth. I'm like, look, man, it's hard for them to understand, any little Mexican kid, a kid from the barrio, a kid from the Midwest, a kid from New York, a lower minority, to understand what you're talking about, or to believe you, because he doesn't see you in his neighborhood. He doesn't know who you are. He cannot relate to your story. He doesn't know.
Exactly.
He doesn't know,
Yeah, when you said he can't relate to you, that's it right there, man. That's the big fail right now. I see in between the youth and stuff that's going on right now. They just can't relate. And there's just such a big gap right now. It's sad when you see people getting locked up, and our judicial system's so hard, man. Like, kids, sometimes they just make one mistake and they're gone for the rest of their life. It's over. So people think like it's just a fight or this is just that. Sometimes things turn into something else. And, when that happens, that's when everything gets out of hand and it goes downhill. I was at I'll start with a story off when I was younger, man. In that life, I had a friend, and we were at a mall, and he was talking to this kid, they were talking trash and whatnot, and there's cameras at the mall. So there's a little park out behind this mall, and he was like, yeah, meet me at the park, this and that. And when he went to the park, there was two of them and two of us. So me and I sat and watched, and his friend sat and watched when they got in on it, and like no one jumped in. It was a fair fight and whatnot. Well, in the middle of this fight, dude's dad shows up, man. And dude gets out of the car, and he's like, he's tripping, you know what I'm saying? And he hit my homie with a bat. Like, my homie got off his son, like, in time, but he still got him, like, once in the lower back with the bat. And we were just like, no, yeah, that's fucked up, you know what I'm saying? We jumped the wall, there's a park, and hopped in my homie's car, and, you know what I'm saying? He took off, and then he came back running down that street where the park was, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, grab the wheel. Wow. So he actually ended up going to jail for this, and I ended up being on house arrest when I was a kid. When I was like, I was about to be 13, man, and I ended up on house arrest for like 9 months. That was the first time I'd ever got in trouble, and they gave me house arrest because I was so young, man. Dude was 15. I was about to be 13, and we were friends from like when the time we were like 6. You know what I'm saying? He was like 8. You know what I'm saying? He was like 2 years older than me, so he was like a bad influence. You know what I'm saying? This is like the big homie, and he's like grabbed the wheel, and he grabbed a full soda that was in between us, in the cup holder. Yeah. Stands up like over the top of the car, you know what I'm saying, on the driver's side, pulls back, and he's probably going like 40, you know what I'm saying, and I'm holding the wheel, and he throws this soda, and he hits dude's dad in the face, man. Like square in the face with the full soda, bro, and you could just see his face collapse. His face just like went in. His whole face went in. And dude ended up having to wear this like plastic mask. Kind of like this, but it was transparent, you know what I'm saying, hard. Yeah. And he had to have a bunch of reconstructive surgeries, and my homie ended up paying like $85,000 in damages just for throwing a soda. So a $1 soda he ended up doing like 3 years too. He ended up doing 3 years, even though he was 15. He got out when he was 18. So